Hello guys, it's me Simo Orahara, and in this video we'll talk about Ichigo and why he's enabled to use KIDO, and also we'll talk about KIDO in general, because this question is asked a lot about Ichigo. But let's start about the KIDO. Frankly, in the beginning, I didn't care much about the names of some abilities that Kobo put in the story, or some basic things, so that my focus was on the things that I thought were more important within the story. However, when I talked about Renji Zanpakuto and the new Bankai, and how Kobo put several signs in the name of Renji Zanpakuto and its techniques in order to form the new Bankai, so then I knew that Kobo sometimes does not put the name arbitrarily. Rather, it may have a deep meaning in the story or a secret that Kobo may address later or not. Perhaps the biggest example we have is the Hell Butterfly. This term we have been hearing from the beginning of the story, and many didn't pay attention to that name. But it turned out later that the name of the hell associated with that butterfly wasn't put by Kobo for fun, but rather it has a great significance related to one of the most mysterious words in Bleach, which is the word of hell. For all of this, if we go back to the name of KIDO, the translation of this word means the demon way or demon art. So, is it possible that the word demon here was put by Kobo only as a decoration? Or is it related to the word of hell? For example, if the butterfly it may be from hell, isn't it possible that the art of KIDO originated from hell? Or anything that has something to do with the concept of demon in Bleach? So I put this question aside, waiting for your comments on this matter. And so back to the KIDO, I believe that this art, which is considered one of the four arts of the Shinigami, Zanken Soki, I think is the most art that requires skill and focus more than other arts, and the success in it requires the Shinigami to have a flexible mind, capable of absorbing all those complexities that must be compatible with the body and mind. Unlike the Zanpakuto, in which the Shinigami can use his Zanpakuto spirit and train with him, and he can teach him some techniques and fight together. But the KIDO is a different story and has different branches. It's divided into two main types, in addition to the healing KIDO or Kaido. We're talking about Bakudo or binding spell, and destructive or offensive KIDO, which is Hado. And these two types, each one of them includes 99 types from 1 to 99. In other words, we're talking about a total of 198 KIDOs. And some KIDO is divided into two types, like Bakudo 99, Kin Part 1 and 2. And as we know, the bigger the KIDO number, the more difficult it is to learn and to release. And every KIDO with a big number needs experience and great strength to activate it. This is without talking about the fact that in order to use KIDO, you need to memorize many spells. It is known that the KIDO, in order to be released, must be chanted by a spell. And it is true that the types with small numbers may need only the spell number and name, such as the Bakudo side that Rukia used in the first chapter. Then she used the full spell to release Bakudo 33, Sokatsu. But as the Shinigami advances in learning KIDO and gains experience, he can use advanced KIDO without the need to use the full spell, but the name of it in its number, and this method is called Ishuhaki. So that the Shinigami to gain time, he uses only the name and number of the spell without chanting the full incantation. For example, and as I said a while ago, Rukia in chapter 9 needed to pronounce the spell completely in order to use Bakudo 33. While Byakuya in chapter 143 reads the Bakudo itself without using the full spell. Renji referred to this as Ishuhaki. And then also Rukia in the arc of Arankara will use the same Bakudo, but this time, like her brother, she will use the Ishuhaki, and this is what Oranyo also referred to. And there is also the term of Nijo Ishu, where Shinigami can chant two different incantations in sequence and then pronounce their name and numbers in a successive attack. And this is what Rukia did in front of Aranero as well, by chanting Bakudo 61 and Hado 63 with the full spell. Then she fired them sequentially. Of course, the greater the Shinigami's strength and experience in KIDO, the greater the number of KIDO that can be carried out using Ishuhaki, such as Byakuya or Kisuke or Aizen Sosuke. However, casting the KIDO with the full spell is still better than the KIDO without it in terms of effectiveness. For all of this, and as you can see, the KIDO has a lot of ramifications and needs a lot of focus so that the Shinigami is able to use a lot of things at one time. And this is what I think Ichigo is not capable of. So, if we go back to the question of is Ichigo able to use KIDO or not, the answer is yes. He has the ability to learn it. because this art is mainly based on the spiritual power of the Shinigami, and this point is one of Ichigo's biggest strengths. Ichigo has great spiritual power. Therefore, the first factor that you must have in order to use KIDO is to have a spiritual strength. Rather, you must move that spiritual power out of your body and adapt it according to the spell that you will use. And this is where Ichigo's problem lies. Because if you go back to the arc of the Soul Society, exactly the training that Ichigo took in Kukaku's house until they break into the Soul Society, Kukaku told them that there was only one way to get through, and that was by using this spiritual ball, so that each one of them had to send his spiritual power into the ball. Notice what Kukaku said. She said that the process of extracting spiritual power is the same as using the spells, and Kukaku thought that Ichigo could do this easily, but as Yorichi said to her that Ichigo is just a substitute Shinigami and he can't use KIDO. And this is what Ichigo actually exposed to. He found it difficult to transfer this spiritual power of him to the ball, but when he did it, the spiritual ball became large and huge, and that's why, as I said, Ichigo is able to learn KIDO, but it will take from him a lot of time and effort. And as I explained before, KIDO is divided and has several levels, and each level requires a degree of concentration. And if you notice, even people who are considered masters in this art are characterized by kind of high intelligence, such as Orohara Kizuki, Aizen Sosuke, Byakuya and others. Or they spent many years in this field, such as Ichibi, Yamaji, etc. And add to this, not all the Shinigami are master of the 4 arts. For example, Zaraki and his entire squad do not even rely on a Zanpakuto of KIDO type, and the most prominent example of this is Yumchika, who prefers to fight with partial Shikai over fighting with the real Shikai. Or for example, Rinji, who showed that he didn't have a high skill in KIDO. For example, in this chapter when Rinji wanted to use Ishu Haki, he didn't succeed in generating a strong Shakaho, and this is what Rukia indicated to him, that this is the result of not practicing this method. Add to which, even Ichigo's fighting method does not depend on KIDO. For example, he doesn't have a KIDO type Zanpakuto, and he has one basic technique, which is Getsuga Tensho. So imagine how Ichigo could chant a KIDO of 19s, like the Black Coffin, or the one Kizuki did against Aizen. For all of this, and in my opinion, the reason why Ichigo couldn't use KIDO in the story is because it would take him a lot of time, and this time could be saved to master the Zanpakuto, especially since Zangetsu is distinguished by the power of Horo and Quincy in it. But in the end, I said that Ichigo doesn't mean that he can't learn at all the KIDO. For example, he can learn some specific levels of KIDO, maybe even a KIDO of level 30, because without doubt, its effect will be devastating, because in the end, KIDO is related to the high spiritual power. The more power he has, the more and great the effectiveness of KIDO will be. So guys, what do you think? Tell me your opinions in the comments, and see you guys in my next video.